Hi, today my student and I learned about expanded form. Expanded form is another way of writing numbers, just like you would write them in words or in standard form. So let's review these three forms before we get more in depth into standard form. Expanded form, sorry. So let's start quickly with standard form. Standard form is the simplest of all three. It's just writing a number. So I have the number 100, that's it. 300, that's it. 50, that's it. Simple. Word form is writing the number in words. So 100 would be 100. 47 would be 47. And 9 would be 9. It's also quite simple. Expanded form, I find, is the most complicated, but it's very helpful in finding place value, as in hundreds, tens, ones, and when you go after the decimal, tens, hundreds, and thousands. So let's start with a basic number. We have the number 57. When we are writing in expanded form, we have to isolate all the different place values. So isolating the tens and isolating the ones in this case, because we have 50 plus 7, and that's what it would be. So there are 5 tens, 50, and there are 7 ones, 7. So it would be 50 plus 7, which would be 57. Let's say I have the number 3,627. Actually, let's pick something other than 7. Let's take 9. We have to isolate the different place values. In here, there are not just hundreds and tens. There are thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones. So it would be 3,000 plus 600 plus 20 plus 9. That is expanded form. Now let's do a couple more examples to make sure that you understand. 5,247. I'll give you some time to try and solve it by yourself. About 10 seconds. Remember, you have to isolate for the place value. You divide it up into thousands, hundreds, tens, and ones, and then you just write them out separately. Okay, so let's see if you've gotten the right idea. The answer would be 5,000 plus 200 plus 40 plus 7. And you don't really have to add these up. You just have to write it like this. You already know the answer is going to be 5247 because that's how you're constructing the number. So this addition sequence, this equation, is exactly the same as writing in words. It's exactly the same as 5,247. It's exactly the same as writing 5247 in standard form, just the number. They're just all different ways of expressing it. And this definitely comes in useful when you're looking at something that's after a decimal. A decimal number where there are multiple numbers on the right side of the decimal. So let's take the number 54.21. So here we have tens, ones, and then we have tenths and hundredths. So we have the numbers on the left and the numbers on the right. So let's take care of the numbers on the left first. You do the same thing you always do. Isolate. So you have 50 plus 4. We still have to add. We're not done because we have these numbers after decimal. So here we don't have any full ones. We have 54 ones. And on the right side, it would be 0.2 to represent the tenths. There are 2 tenths. And then plus, again, 0.01. Notice how I have an extra 0 here. This is very important. You cannot forget this. It is a placeholder. If we didn't have that 0 there, it would be 0.1, which is the same thing as saying 0.10, which would be the same thing as saying 0.20. It would just be 10 less. So we have to put that extra 0 here. Let's say we added a 7. We had 54.217. We would just continue the equation on. Instead of 54.21, we would have to add one more. So we add one more 0. The zeros before the decimal, you can keep it at 1. You need 1. But the zeros after the decimal, the farther you go to the right, you have to add 1 0. So those are the essentials of expanded form. Thank you for listening.